Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Hello, 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 everybody. It is Tuesday once again, and that means that the Armed Forces Dungeon League is back. I am Marielia, joined today by Thalassic, a new face on the caster desk here at the Warriors of the Rift tournament. Thalassic, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to see some good high-level League of Legends.
Yes, for everyone who is not familiar with you, how did you get here? How did we stumble upon your presence on the caster desk today?
It has been a long road. So 4 years ago, I was actually one of the founding members of Goats and Glory, the Navy's esports team. I competed in a bunch of the World of Warcraft AFDL seasons. Did my best healing, as I could as an evoker, and League of Legends has been a passion of mine. Been playing since beta, so yeah, I'm excited to cast some of this.
It's going to be a pretty good day. We've got two matchups lined up today, as usual. The European group plays first. It is going to be the Royal Navy esports team versus the British Army's Lions. And then later on this evening, after a solid break, we will get the North American group. So make sure you tune back in later tonight for that matchup as well. We will be jumping into picks and bans very quickly. Thalassic, I don't know if you've been tuning in to the previous weeks, but let me just catch you up as well as any of the viewers who weren't present in the last couple of matches. It's going to be a lot of fun. We had a game already that had 90 kills in 20 minutes. We've had games that are slow, that are methodical. We've had games that are just fully action-packed. So it has been anybody's guess as far as what's going to happen today on Summoner's Rift. What are you most looking forward to seeing from these two teams?
I want to see a close match, right? I want this to go the whole series. I want to see fighting. I don't want to see any fighting in the first 5 minutes. I want them to take it serious. I want them to take it like they're playing at pro level. And then I want to see some amazing gameplay. I want to see the mechanics coming through from some of their better players. And I want to see great macro. I want to see teams fighting over objectives, teams fighting to get ahead. And then I want to see long games. I don't want a 20-minute,
Ooh.
stomp. I want a 50-minute slog fest.
You really want to embrace old school League of Legends where games took 3 hours to play. I kid you not, I was in a game that took 56 minutes the other day. In the realm of 20s or done, I was genuinely shocked that I did not overcook my dinner. It was definitely special. But we've got these picks and bans starting to come through. The first one from each team, a Gwen ban and a Poppy ban. That seems like a very specific target.
It is. You can tell that the Lions have actually done their research. So both these teams I know have been scouting each other out, right? That's part of it. See who they play, and I can tell you, I would not be surprised if we get a Leona ban as well. I think the support on the Royal Navy Esports is going to be one of their top people. Hence the Poppy. He actually plays Poppy and Leona a lot as supports. So I am not surprised to see the Poppy ban come in early.
Poppy is an interesting support, in my opinion. I main jungle, but I also enjoy playing either support or AD carry, depending on what my friends want to play at the time. And Poppy is a very, very interesting choice. I feel like she can be counterpicked, but similar to, like you said, that Leona, which is a champion we expect to see also in the pool, they can also do a lot of damage to a laner that's not prepared on how to face against them. So, following up with a Zed, Kai'Sa, and a Vi Nocturne. That's a decent chunk of junglers gone, as well as some mid laners.
Yeah, both these teams have done their research, and you can see it right here. Looking at Royal Navy Esports, they picked up on the fact that the Lions ADC plays a lot of Kai'Sa. It's something like 50 games higher than their next pick. And on the other side, the Lions are targeting perfectly. The top two players on Royal Navy are their jungler and their support, and they've taken out 3 of the picks. We've gotten the Poppy, the Vi, and the Nocturne. So you're going to have to go down that list a little bit on the junglers to sort of see, well, what's the next thing? I think Nunu is probably going to come through early. If I'm Royal Navy Esports and I'm seeing their target banning my jungler and support, oh, there we go, a Mumu.
Yeah. With a Vi and a Nocturne knocked out, a Mumu is not a bad pick. Definitely a jungler that requires a lot of good coordination from their team. If you can take advantage of the power of his ultimate, it can completely turn a team fight. I'm assuming that's going to be a Volibear jungle, just given we haven't seen too much yet. Not a bad counter pick, has a good potential to really get up in a Mumu's business, steal some buffs, just constantly be a thorn in the farming side. But also good gank potential. I think that's a very solid counter.
Absolutely. I think the Lions have really looked at the other team, seen what they're going to play, and I think the Lions I think they're ready to do some tower dives. I think Volibear is setting it up that level 6. We're going to see some bot side tower dives right at level 6 to try to wipe off Navy
Oh,
Esports.
you
And there's
still
the
sure
Leona,
about
just
that?
like I said.
You know,
I'm
you're
pretty
talking
sure.
about the tower dives, but Samira Leona, that can get real painful to dive if you're not really certain everyone's going all in.
Yeah, that was a really good comeback from Royal Navy. You see the other team is they're drafting towards this sort of like destroy you even under the tower, and you're like, okay, you know what? We've got a Mumu, we've got Samira, we've got Leona. They've got everything that they need in their arsenal to be able to slow down this Lions team.
I think we're obviously a little bit behind. Pick bans are happening in the background. So as this graphic updates, we'll know more. Bans should be coming in for the last two. I think if I'm seeing this correctly, that's going to be an Aatrox and a Silas.
For Lions? Oh, they were for the bans.
That's
Okay.
Royal Navy's going to ban the Aatrox and ban the Silas. I'm trying to see what the red team bans are.
The Silas is a good pick. I think the Silas would
Yep,
not be
I was
fun
right.
to play against. Yeah, we see
But
those
an
bans come
interesting
through.
ban, though. Like, are they worried about? I would assume that has to be they have to be concerned about a Silas top. But when you've
Yeah,
got,
absolutely.
I, I don't know. It seems like an odd ban to me as opposed to just counter pick and play safe.
I think that the first game, both of these teams want to take out what based on the information they've seen, right? You're target banning the players and maybe not necessarily the meta or the comp that they're playing. So I think both these teams are really trying to take out what they think are going to be power picks for the other team.
I can definitely see that being the case. Yeah, no, you know what? You've convinced me. That makes a little bit more sense. The other bands coming in are the Vex and Galio. I haven't seen a Galio band in ever. Like, in years perhaps. There's not a lot of Galio players, I feel like.
There's not. So when I'm looking over at looking at these teams and I'm looking at sort of what we've got going on, um, I think that, man, I think the Galio makes sense. You take out that Galio sort of almost full map alt range, but with the Lissandre, I just want to make sure the graphics correct, right? Lissandre and Malphite coming through on
Yes, that
Royal
is a
Navy.
Lysandra and a Malphite. We'll see where they
Man, that is
go,
a
but I'm assuming that's a Lysandra
beefy
mid.
team. That's a Mumu, Leona, Malphite. You got the Lissandra alt. Like, this is going to be a team that is hard to kill.
Oh. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a
That is a
minute. If
volley
I'm not
top.
mistaken, you know how we were talking about it being a Volibear jungle? I think this is actually a Volibear top.
Yeah, it looks like we've got an Alistar Jinx bot lane, LeBlanc mid, and a volley top with the Zen jungle. Uh,
Wow.
Man, both these teams. I'm looking at both these teams, and now that we're seeing the full draft, um, man, I've got to say, I think I think this comes down to they've got some great setup with Royal Navy Esports, right? If we can definitely see where they're going. Amumu's got engaged. You've got the Malphite engage, Leona engage. Samira can just jump right in there. But I think this is going to come down to execution, and I think the Lions team is going to be a little bit easier to execute on.
And yep, there we go. It looks like they have swapped over Lysandra into LeBlanc. Okay, now I have to ask the question that anyone who's logged into the League client recently is going to be asking themselves, will we see the Faker skin?
I want to see it. I want to see it. You know what? I think that if you're gonna play, you gotta have bought it, right? Like,
Oh, I've seen more LeBlanc in the last 2 weeks than I think I have in months of play. But I've only seen one LeBlanc with the signature. I've seen a couple of Victorious, a couple of, is it redeemed? What's the lower tier?
oh
Ari's,
yeah,
I
the one
suppose.
right below it. Yeah.
Because there's the 3 Ari skins, and then there's the LeBlanc skin, and I've seen more LeBlancs than Ari's at this point, honestly. Oh,
I
I
want to
can
see
tell
a
you it's
signature.
not. It's going to be a
It's not.
Ravenborn LeBlanc. Also a pretty solid skin, though.
I mean, solid, but it's not what we want. Uh, I'm excited for this one. I think this is gonna get bloody early. I know I don't want to see it. I wanted to see this game go long, but I think the Lions are going to push this game early and invade early. I'm looking at both these teams right now, and I think I'm going to give the the little bit of a tip to the Lions. I think they're going to come out ahead.
All right, well, here it goes. We are getting into game, although it looks like we got a bit of a freeze frame, so let's just bear with while League of Legends does its thing. And here we go. As is typical, it is never so simple getting into a League of Legends match when you've got to load 4 different versions of the client. But here we are, sitting around, everyone just chilling. I love when we get human wards.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to see, right? They're not coming out doing anything cheeky. No one's trying to full invade through bot lane or wait in the bush. Everyone is giving respect to the other team. They're set up like a normal game. They're ready to make sure that their team doesn't get invaded.
It's just a good set of coverage. Jungler's kind of hanging out. I'm okay with this. I mean, it doesn't give me much to talk about, but it's a very respectful start.
I like it, and I think I actually like. I'm looking at the jungler pathing right now. Amumu, starting up there, no leash. I think this sets up his bot lane a little better than waiting for that leash. And Xin Zhao doesn't need it, right? He can start up there on red.
No.
His path is going to be clear. I think we're going to see a Xin Zhao early gank here. He'll clear up, get down to the bot side, and hopefully gank before he goes back. I want to see some blood right now.
Amumu choosing to delay his red buff. That's quite interesting to me. We've seen him do both the chickens and now our lovely stone boys, but not actually clearing. Do you wonder if he's just trying to outpace Xin by just not giving him the timers? I mean, Xin is a very aggressive jungler. It wouldn't surprise me if Xin decides, you know what, I think I know when this is up. I'm just going to go hang out in your jungle instead of Mumu. But still an interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is one of those things. I think Amumu is one of the few people who I guess lower to mid elos really benefits from having that early leash on blue. I think without that, I think what he's doing makes sense. Clear the full bottom side, get up top. You've got, you had people in the river watching. We've got some action in bot.
It does look like a quick little engage from the Alistair, but not enough to fully commit. Just knocking up, putting some pressure on the Royal Navy team. Just letting their carries farm. You know what? 15 to 12, I can respect that. Leona has vision in that tri-bush. They do see the Xin Zhao coming down. It's trying to sneak in. And I think that pathing right there, as soon as they backed up, Xin was like, yep, never mind, I'm gone. They can see me. Have fun. I'm going to go take my blue buff.
Yeah, you could see from his clear. He cleared out his full top side, and you could tell just based on his level he was going to come down and try to do something. That was really good thought from Royal Navy to put a ward in that bush to be ready to go when that gank came through. This is exactly like I called it. Both teams are farming up. There's not going to be any, it looks like there's going to be no really early aggression. Both junglers are going to get a scuttle. This is going to be this is not going to be a 20-minute game, I think. I think this one's going to go to the link.
Yeah, LeBlanc with the flash being spent, had a ward ready to go on that top side, having the expectation that Amumu would be counter-cycling to their Xin Zhao. A good call, and gonna be safe. LeBlanc against Lissandra this early game, it's gonna be all right. Oh, looks like bot lane is gonna get picked up by Xin Zhao, and Leona is also going to go down. We looked in the wrong place, and all the action was coming up the bottom river.
Yeah, that's what happens. The Xin Zhao stayed bot side while Mumu's pushing in and trying to gank mid. Xin Zhao hit bot again. We could see the remnants of that fight as Samira tried to get out, tried to run away. They followed him up there. The Lions followed him right up. We're able to pick up 2 kills, and that is going to give them a lot of early aggression.
An interesting choice to commit there from Lissandra after the solid root and then missing her E. But I don't think that's going to result in anything. Both of them don't have their critical movement. And wow, LeBlanc went in and just misjudged how quickly Lissandra's kit comes back up and how much damage she does at those early levels and costs them their first death.
That feels bad because that wasn't even a Leona ganked me, right? 5 seconds later, and we could have said, okay, unlucky. Leona's there. But man, to lose a 1v1, just barely not knowing. I think this is going into that, play your champion, knowing the matchup. That's an unfortunate death there. That's going to cost him.
I quite enjoy Lysandra. I'm a big Freljord champion player, so even though I main jungle, whenever I play another lane, I'm probably playing Lysandra or Ashe or one of the Freljord characters. So I have never actually played Lysandra into LeBlanc, but that exchange right there just indicated so well exactly why that pick made sense. LeBlanc is a very mobile champion. She's going to get in, do damage, get out. And being able to just shut her down mid-combo like that with the AoE stun, gonna have to be careful or this Lysandra could get really fed.
Yeah, I think for Royal Navy that's exactly what they needed. When you go down early to, and here we go, more action.
Alistair does manage to get the double knockup as Xin Zhao comes in from the river. That's going to be a solid engage from the Lions. Are they able to convert it? It does look like that Samira will be killed. Leona spends her flash in order to survive. And in counter, it looks like our junglers are going to go ahead and take some grubs. A bit of a consolation prize, but Leona does live to fight another day. And I expect Xin Zhao to pick up this dragon without much contest.
That was a really, really good gank from the Lions. Being able to get down there with Xin Zhao. Knowing where they are, though, I've got to say Royal Navy didn't let it go for nothing. They were able to get a counter kill. Man, this is rough. 2-3 already, with the Lions up a little bit. One dragon. This is going to be a close game.
Now, Amumu taking the moment to say, well, I know where Xin is, and I know based on the approximate timings that surely his red buff must be up by now. All right, I'll go take that. Getting a small counter advantage at every possible second. This is shaping up to be exactly what you said you wanted, Thalassic. A slow, methodical, respectful, but also slightly dangerous game that's going to go on. There's a lot of snowball potential in the champions that we have here from both teams. So I'm not sure who the slow, methodical play is going to benefit in the long run.
I don't know. I'm looking at these teams, and I think it just gets harder and harder to kill Royal Navy as we get later and later. But we've get the revenge kill here in the mid lane. LeBlanc's going to go ahead and take out Lysandra, even it up. And at this point, I'm thinking the Lions are looking pretty good. They've been playing towards their bot lane. Xin Zhao has got the bot pretty significantly far ahead. He's ahead himself, and now with mid lane sort of evening out, I think that I think we need to see something from the Royal Navy here. I think we need to see an adjustment of strategy. I think we need to see them focus.
I think there's a good chance that there's a solid engage here on the bot lane if we can take a look at it. Oh, no, Leona elects not to go in there. Samira just says, no, I want to farm, and the two of them are up on us right now. Samira being 0-2 compared to Jinx's 0-3. Down a little bit in CS as well, just by the nature of time spent dead. But the Amumu decides, okay, if you want some help, we'll bring it to you. Leona starts pushing ahead, forcing the Jinx just to get out of the way so that they can pick up the Alistar at minimum. Jinx is not going to be able to 1v3 that at this early stage of the game and is forced to back, give Samira a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, that was
on the top side, however,
exactly.
Xin is getting ready to make a play on Malphite. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's not stopping this action. Volibear is nowhere nearby, and it doesn't look like he's interested in helping, deciding to just hang out with his wave over there and clear. But still some good counter pressure. I don't know whether that was worth it. Now you know exactly where Xin is. The fact that the Amumu picked up that buff earlier probably helps, but you have some extra knowledge there on your opponent jungler.
I think Volibear hasn't given up. Okay, I'm not saying he's given up the game, but I think he's aware that he's playing weak side top. I think there might.
Oh, Thalassic, we lost your mic. Let's see if he's back. I can see you again. I can hear you again. We dropped you off just halfway through that sentence. You broke up, but I think your connection is back and stable. Go ahead and say what you were going to say.
Yeah, there's no way to. I think Volibear just there might have been a lack of situational awareness there, but that was great from Royal Navy. You can see they did exactly what I said they needed to do. They started focusing down bot a little bit. They got some kill back. Unfortunately, Samira hasn't gotten it yet. We need to get that Samira. The Samira is pretty far behind with those 2 deaths and already down 14 farm. I need to see them focus down bot a little bit more.
Yeah, this Grubs pickup is going to be pretty straightforward. Everybody roamed top, even the Alistair, to make sure that they had good jungle vision to ensure that Amumu doesn't counterplay. Jinx saying, okay, I know it's dangerous down here. I'm going to back up. Amumu is probably not going to be able to turn this into anything. They just don't have vision to know whether Jinx fully backed or not. But let's see what happens. You've got the Lissandra cycling down as well. This could be a dive. Amumu does have his ultimate. The Alistair gets the knock-up. And there's the Amumu ult, just like we expected. Probably going to be a sacrifice in order to get some of these kills, but can they pick them up? There's a lot of damage coming up from both sides. The Samira is not able to hold on, and both red team bot laners are still going. LeBlanc goes to pick up the Lissandra in one final second, but Samira is not close enough to take advantage of Leona's sacrifice play there and clean up LeBlanc. LeBlanc does get hit. We lost it. Directed cam, why? How could you betray us? Leona goes in for the tower dive, but Samira is not there. Once again, just too hesitant on the side of the Navy carry as far as being willing to just hang out in space and get that extra damage done. That could have been an entirely different play, I think, if the Royal Navy team was just a little bit more in sync.
Yeah, and it was a great. On the other side, I gotta say, it was a great play by the Lions there. I mean, not only did that teleport come out almost instantly when they realized they were in trouble, they were able to get some counter kills, put some pressure back, and then top side, Volibear's free farming. That entire fight, Volibear was up there alone, and he was getting some tower plates. So I think if you're British army there, you're pretty happy with how that went. If you're gonna get tower dove, that's how you want it to go.
And to pick up the second dragon off the back of that as well, their map awareness has been fantastic this game. Xin is, it seems, getting counter-jungled once again by the Amumu, a good play, but it's not going to be enough. The Xin Zhao is 2-0 right now. Not too dangerous just yet, but we know that Xin is one of those champions who can just take damage and dish it back out in the late game if you don't deal with him.
Yeah, we're getting some action here in bot side. It looks like LeBlanc is about to... There we go.
I think the LeBlanc is going to get a... Not going to get away? Going to get away? I can't tell. Oh my goodness, LeBlanc gets away. Xin Zhao says, no, I've got your back. Lissandra's going to be able to use her E to escape, but probably not pick up a follow-up kill. In the top side, we've got Volibear just doing a little bit of damage, saying, hey, Malphite, look, I don't really care about what's going on with you. I don't care about what's going on with your laners. I'm just here to get fed. I've got 100 CS. Even though I've died once, I'm okay with that. LeBlanc is pushing mid lane. Bot lane is engaging once again as they try and clear up the Lissandra, but Xin is now diving past the turret. Not a safe place to be. Can the two supports actually take care of that? The Xin goes down instead. Directed camera decides, no, we need to be paying attention to mid lane right now. Or not, and LeBlanc does get away.
Yeah, that was a little whirlwind there. I think this game is starting to. I mean, Xin Zhao obviously overpushed, right? He pushed he was trying to let Jinx hit the turret, get some plates. He was trying to zone them off. Obviously sacrificed his life, but looking at the gold here, they're up almost 2,500 gold. This game is starting to get away from Royal Navy, but I do think they have some easy ways to get back into it. Not all hope is lost yet. One good team fight. I think they need to start prioritizing some of these objectives. You can see Xin Zhao already up there by Rift Herald. I think we need to see a little bit more prioritization of objectives here if they're not going to go for these kills.
Yeah, lots of action bot lane. They know that the jungler's top, so can Amumu turn it into something? We'll see. It's possible they get this tower off the back of it and just using this as an excuse to dive LeBlanc. A lot of dive potential from the Navy team, but considering how the last few have gone, it's a little bit of a risk. Though Jinx has just shown herself mid, Volibear is known to be top, and they now also know that Xin is top. It's safe to push. Let's go in. It's only going to be the two of them here at worst. Volibear's teleport is down. LeBlanc's is still back up, but they can see her standing right in front of them, so not a lot of danger pushing that in. Dragon will be up in 2 minutes. Oh, and a solid engage from Leona. That is going to be a quick and dirty kill. LeBlanc is 3-3.
That is exactly what Royal Navy needed to do. They needed to get something down there. One tower was not enough because you had Jinx take a tower, you had Xin take Rift Herald, and then use it to get a second tower. Great play by Royal Navy, seeing that they could aggress on that bottom side, but unfortunately, the Lions were just too ready for it. They countered immediately. They got 2 turrets. Were able to push a lot of that gold onto Jinx and Xin Zhao, who are already your carries. They, as much as Royal Navy is trying to push this game, and they're doing a great job of it, they're just continually falling behind. They have closed the gold gap to only 2,000, but still.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to highlight here. The gold gap is not significant, and only 2 kills. They're down 1 extra turret. It's not unsalvageable by any means. This is still anybody's game, but vision is going to play a huge, huge role. And you can see just comparatively the vision score on both team members, right? Lissandra is 1. LeBlanc is 9. And while there's greater support from the AD carry and the bot laner on the Royal Navy side, the difference in vision in key areas of the map is only going to become more and more important as this game goes on, where a single team fight can mean life or death. And speaking of team fights, we have one right here. Amumu gets a good grab and goes straight in for the ultimate. It looks like a little bit of a sloppy play. Everybody is splitting up. Volibear's dead? No, Volibear got a kill. We can see that there, and Lissandra manages to get a solid root, but doesn't manage to pick up the Jinx, sitting down at about 1 health far off in the background. Everybody is just so low. Lissandra's going to be able to keep poking, doesn't manage to get her stun, and Lissandra goes down. LeBlanc able to hop right in, knowing that that W is on cooldown. Leona, the only survivor from the Navy team. What was I just saying? A single team fight can turn the tide, and that one the British Army team was well prepared for.
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to say that they were an amazing gank by Royal Navy. They had the ward over the wall. They were ready to go. Leona landed it, but Jinx had such a fast reaction. That cleanse came out immediately. She got right out of that. The ult didn't affect her, and then the rest of the team was there. British Army was ready to go. They had the full team there, and at that point, you've already used your major engages in the battle, and unfortunately it unraveled for them there. And now we're seeing that the gold has just jumped from 2,000 to over 5,000 gold. So while, again, it isn't unwinnable, you know, you always say that, it isn't unwinnable, it is getting harder and harder, especially with 3 dragons already stacked for British Army. This game is quickly
I will say Leona and
snowballing.
Samira in a bit of a risky position right there, trying to pick up any vision they can on the top side. There's only 1 minute till Baron spawn, and with 4 minutes to Dragon, top is where all the action is going to be. LeBlanc doing a little bit of poking now that that top tower is done. The super mega death rocket comes out, but doesn't seem to hit anything. I'm wondering if that was intended for Samira in the mid lane, or whether that was a misclick. Nobody's low enough health for that to have been a kill shot. I'm very curious if that was intentional or not.
I think that was an aim for the Malphite. I think they saw the Malphite going back into there, and she thought she could get the execute.
Oh.
Now he's full health.
That's
but
possible.
I think it would have been close. I don't know if it was quite enough damage. The Jinx is ahead, but not that much ahead.
Volibear. Can he do it? We know that Volibear has a lot of damage to his name, but the W comes out from Lissandra, a quick E away. Volibear's just saying, hey, look, I'm all about the farm this game. I don't need to chase you. If you stay around, I will jump right in. And that's going to be a second engage. The W comes out, prevents the pursuit, but Lissandra's still staying, hanging out with her minions. What is she expecting to be able to do here? Volibear has a lot of health, and she does not yet have her burst damage. Okay, thank goodness. It's going to be a, oh no. Volibear doesn't know that that bush is warded. But Lissandra is still here. Volibear will absolutely go for this dive if Lissandra is not careful. This is a lot of, I don't know, a lot of gumption from the Navy mid laner right here to be hanging out. But Volibear doesn't commit. That was a gamble I don't know I would have taken.
And in the
And
mid
of
lane,
course, in
everything
the
else
mid
is
lane,
going
the
wrong.
action continues. The army manages to pick up an incredible team fight. Solid engage on the Navy team. Leona is also going to go down, and that's going to be an easy Baron pickup. Malphite is not going to be able to help. Lissandra is still low enough health from her engage with Volibear in the bot lane. What an incredible cycle from the entire team as far as moving in sync towards that top river.
Yeah, the macro has been outstanding by British Army. Every time that you think that they're gonna fall back a little bit, every time you think Royal Navy is gonna be able to get a kill in bot lane or take bot tower, British Army has been able to respond somewhere else on the map, and we saw that here. Lissandra kept staying. Volibear said, okay, fine, I'll keep you here. My team wins the 4v4 without me. But Lissandra is, right now, I mean, one of the 2 damage dealers for the Royal Navy. They needed Lissandra to be in that fight.
Navy knows that Xin Zhao is there. There was a ward placed by the Wolves. Lissandra's going to go straight in, manages to get the stun with her ultimate, but gets a huge chunk of damage and a knockback from an incoming LeBlanc that they just don't see from the top lane. Red team does manage to come back. Jinx doing a lot of damage over that wall, but nobody is focusing her. Instead, they're going for the LeBlanc and not able to quite follow up. Samira manages to use her ult and get right in there. Jinx is busy chasing down the Malphite, not her priority target. Are they going to be able to turn this around? A huge knockback from the Alistair pushes one of the Royal Navy members. I didn't even see who that was. They died so fast, but they managed to chase Leona, and Amumu is like, I don't have enough health for this, and the Super Mega Death Rocket manages to pick him up. What a solid follow-up from the British Army after the Navy engage.
This is the game. I really do think that with Baron here, they got the full ace. This is at this point, it is their game to lose. We have seen it snowball amazingly out of control.
Yeah, that could be it. They're not going to get probably more than an inhibitor off of the back of that. I would be surprised. The other team is coming back up very quickly, but they have so much. Let me be specific. I've said a lot of theys in the last 2 sentences. The British Army esports team has a lot of map control now, and they have just been on point. Dragon is coming up in 10 seconds, and Zhao is already there. They are on their timers. They are just making sure that they pick up objectives. The team fights are going in their favor as long as they can prevent the Navy team from farming and getting some of their late game items. There's a lot of late game potential in the Navy team. The Army's going to be okay.
Yeah, and you can see that they know exactly what they're doing. They sent 2 bot. They were able to get a pick off on a Malphite, give LeBlanc some time to just hit the tower and clear the wave. Xin Zhao's getting Dragon. I mean, that fight really sort of broke this game open when you let a Jinx free fire in the back line with no one even. There was nothing going towards Jinx there. I mean, you set yourself up for failure.
I don't know if Volibear is going to be diving Lissandra up top. It does look like Lissandra is going to successfully back, so we won't go take a peek over on the top side. Amumu gets pinged by the British team, so they know he's there. This is a good opportunity to push. It's going to take him a little while to clear. This could be an easy inhib. Jinx does a lot of quick damage, and the Alistair is there ready to knock everybody back along with the Xin Zhao and make sure that their carry has a chance. But Leona finds an incredible window, lands her hook. The damage comes out from Royal Navy. Lissandra uses her ult. Amumu uses his ult. He manages to cycle there in time, and Alistar is going to get slowly shredded, but Volibear is pushing top. LeBlanc has pushed bottom. There's still a lot of damage coming. It's very likely that Volibear doesn't manage to escape this, even with his extra movement abilities. The Lissandra W comes out. There's the knockback, but just so much shred on all of these champions. LeBlanc is the only survivor. What a fantastic turnaround.
Yeah, British Army just did not respect the amount of CC that the Royal Navy team has. As soon as Leona landed that amazing Zenith Blade on the Jinx, they should have backed up. I mean, after that, Jinx is dead, and Xin Zhao's strong. Don't get me wrong. Ha, that rhymed. But
Ha 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 ha.
unfortunately, he just wasn't able to get the kills. Royal Navy doing a great job of holding the line.
Yeah, LeBlanc now has shown top lane. Lissandra saying, okay, let's go. We can do this. Do we believe that this engage is going to happen? Expecting LeBlanc to hop the wall. Lissandra backs up. That was a good decision. I think the call has been, no, we're not going in. We've now seen too many of the opposing team too close by to risk it. Let's just farm and be careful. As you said, there's so much CC on the Navy team. If there's a team that's going to turtle, it's these guys.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Leona is pushing up a little bit too far into the jungle. Needs to get out of there. Oof, that is
LeBlanc
good because
goes
at
for
this
the
point,
little bait. Oh, wasn't expecting the Malphite over the wall, I don't quite think, but with enough of her teammates following up, I think LeBlanc is going to be happy to just keep chasing. Amumu does not manage to land his grab. Everybody decides, okay, guys, we got to back up a little bit. Our LeBlanc is low. Let's heal up. It looks a lot to like they're using the LeBlanc as bait in quite a few of these team fights. She seems to be using her blink very aggressively compared to some LeBlancs I know who just use it to pick up kills at the end. There is an engage happening in the jungle. Let's see what's going on. Xin Zhao manages to take out Samira, which does not bode well for the Navy, but he needs to back the heck up, and Lissandra just gets chunked by the Jinx. There is so much damage coming out. Nobody manages to survive from the Navy team, and all of the Lions are low. They just got caught unawares, and that's going to easily be the game here, I think. They've got, what, 2 inhibs at minimum? Probably at least a turret with nobody up for 15 seconds. Samira is not going to be able to handle this on her own, even if she runs in and dives. That was an incredible final play from the British esports team. The British Army Esports Lions have won game 1.
Yeah, that was fantastic to watch, I've got to say. It started just like I thought. They both were methodical. I think little things sort of pushed the British Army team ahead, and as it kept building up, building up. We finally had a couple team fights where the dam just broke. They won the fights, and then you could sort of see the whole game just swung their way.
Yeah, that was really well played by both teams, but I think for the next game, Navy just needs to bring the synchronicity. You know, there were a couple of fights early on where everybody wasn't quite all in sync. Are we all inning? Are we kiting? What are we doing here? Whereas the Army was always on the same page. If the Royal Navy team can just reassess, I don't think there were any problems in the pick ban phase. I think both teams ended up with a really good comp. It just came down to execution and map awareness. So this is going to be a really close game too.
Absolutely. I don't think this series is going to be one-sided. That game took a turn there at the end, but I think up until that point, it was very contentious. I think that with a couple tweaks to their game plan, maybe a little bit better on the macro side, maybe a little bit safer play from that bot lane, knowing you're going to be focused down, I think the Royal Navy has a real shot of still bringing this back and reverse sweeping it, possibly.
Absolutely. Don't forget, this is a best of 3. If you are just tuning in, the British Army Esports Lions have defeated the Royal Navy Esports team in Game 1. We will be back after this short break to see who takes Game 2. It's not over yet. Don't go anywhere. Well, that was our quick break. The action returns with game 2 of the British Army Esports versus Royal Navy Esports. Game 1 was a really solid game by both teams. Thalassic, how are you feeling after that first one?
I'm feeling good. I think that with a couple changes, this is anybody's game still. We got exactly what I wanted. It was slow in the start, picked up a little bit in the middle, and I think with if a couple of those fights went just a little bit differently, I think Royal Navy would have it. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I want this to be a full 3-game series. And if you are here in the chat, make sure you say hello, introduce yourself. Who are you rooting for in this best of 3? Make sure you show your love. We know that these players like to just peek in on chat every once in a while, so give them that morale boost. Show them some love as we get ready to go into pick ban for the second game. Cloudy is here, repping the BAE. Yes, absolutely bringing some love for our game 1 winners. And here we go.
I'll tell you, I will say one thing. I just want to see the one champion I truly love. Show me a Malzahar mid. Okay? It's my one trick.
Oh,
I want to see some spice. I liked both drafts. I thought they were both good. I understand why they went with what they went, but I want to see some spicy picks.
I forgive me if I'm mistaken. Longtime viewers will be able to correct me, but I thought we had a Malzahar mid so far in the Warriors the Rift tournament. I feel like we had one last week. I'm going to need to go check the VODs. I mean, I'm editing all of the VODs after today, but I will find that out because I feel like I just saw Malzahar very recently. And we have our first ban. It's the Nocturne again.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of the same bands come through. I expect to see Nocturne, Vi, Leona, Poppy bans. Those are for sure, I think, the Lions' best shot there to ban away. On the other side, I don't know if they need to make any adjustments. While I thought that the Lions did great with who they picked, I definitely think that the band should stay somewhat the same. Take out their real power picks, and I think that they looked beatable. So I don't think the Navy really needs to adjust much at all.
No, I can agree with that. And as the bands keep coming in, getting some more love in chat, Ginger Man is RAF, but expects BAE to take it home. Ooh, all right. A spicy take there. I don't know if there's any other RAF fans in chat. Does that count as a betrayal? How do we feel about that? We got a watch party going on. That's fantastic. Is it PRE or Bray playing today? I don't know the answer to that question, but it's an excellent question, I'm sure.
It's PRAE, Steve, Kimpy,
Or
Clanish, and
BRAE.
Flacco.
Oh, these are the player names. Of course they are. You know
Yep.
what? I've got enough on my mind with these incredible bands once again trying to together the mindset of these players that I can definitely remember all of their names at all times. As a caster, it's
I
my one
looked at
job, right?
chat. I will say
Oh.
chat put the names of the players in there. I was just reading it. I feel bad now. You're doing great. The bands though, that exactly like I said. We're seeing the exact same bands come through, just like before.
Yeah, we've got the Gwen, we've got the Zed. Oh, interesting. This one hasn't kicked in just yet onto the graphic, but I can tell you that a Xin Zhao ban has gone out.
That's smart. I think the Xin Zhao looked really good, especially early game. His ability to quickly clear topside, get down to bot, had a huge impact in getting that Jinx pretty far ahead. I think that was a good flex there in the first ban. I would not be surprised though if we see a insta lock in Leona again.
Now, all right, we're going to test the power of this graphics ability to withstand recent champion reworks and see whether it actually loads an image for the next
Skarner.
picks that we've got coming in. It is not a Skarner, I can tell you.
Oh,
We did get a first pick Jinx.
Jinx. Okay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. The Lions really liked what they did with Jinx game 1. I think that makes sense to me. I'm surprised we didn't get a Kai'Sa though. Kai'Sa left on the table this time. The last time it was banned away.
Yeah, All right, it does work. It is going to be a Nunu and Willump and a Leona picked up to
Okay.
counter that Jinx. And then we have the Alistair LeBlanc following it. So far, only changes from the Navy side.
Yeah, I thought the Nunu was going to come through, honestly. Looking at their jungler and what they've done in the past, some of the champions they've played, I think Nunu makes a good amount of sense. I think Nunu's ability to get places quickly will really impact it. I do like the Nunu more than the Amumu. I think when you're going with a Leona, when you're going with these other engage in champs, um, I don't think Amumu brought enough to the table, and we saw that. But the Lions not making many changes at all.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say Amumu didn't bring too much to the table. I feel like there was a lot of overlap in his function with the Lysandra, and so neither of them really got to be, the big CC playmaker for their team that they both could have been. Um,
Yeah.
but with the Zinzao banned out, and yeah, I can see Nunu being an interesting alternative. The Misfortune comes out. Misfortune Leona, I quite like that pair. I don't know whether I prefer it over the Jinx Alistair. I think that's going to be another bot lane to watch for sure. But the remaining bans have come out. It's the Malphite and your Malzahar. You've been targeted. Caster targeting in the bans over here. But also the Volibear picked up.
The Lions better lose. That's all I gotta say. Banning a Malzahar, that's just rude. Like what at what point do you think, man, I'm playing LeBlanc. You know who I'm really gonna struggle with? Malza. No. Uh Looking at the draft though, I mean, Royal Navy felt like they needed to make some changes, and they did. They brought in the Nunu, which is their jungle's third most played, right? Behind the Nocturne and
Mm-hmm.
the Vi. So I think that is probably going to be a good change. I think when you get on comfort picks, even if they're maybe not as good in your comp or in the meta, I think that is a good change. And I think you're right. I think Misfortune Leona versus Alistar and Jinx, or yeah, Alistar and Jinx, it's going to make for a contentious bot lane, and I think whoever wins bot will probably end up winning this game.
I can definitely see that being the case. We don't have as I suppose. Well, I was about to say we don't have a Snowbally a top laner, but that's a Gnar.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to really see if the Lions are actually as synchronized as we think they are. Gnar is probably, okay, this is a hot take, probably my least favorite top laner, period. And I think it's just because outside of his real, ultimate window, I just don't like him as much. And I feel like a lot of teams aren't good enough to play around that window.
I can see that, but I mean, when Teemo exists and you choose Gnar to be the top laner you like least, I think I have some questions.
Teemo is an amazing top laner. Are you kidding? He's fun. You know what it is though? Teemo may
Armed
be
and
more
ready.
annoying. Oh my gosh. Teemo can be more annoying possibly, but I think Gnar requires your team to be on point. You have to know
I can
when you
agree with
can
that.
take fights, when you can take engagements. If you're going into an objective and Gnar isn't ready, your whole team fight's over at that point.
That is very true. He is someone that you have to play around. And we have our final picks from both teams. That's a Mordekaiser, and with Vex left on the table, they elect to pick it up into the LeBlanc mid lane. Looks like we're getting a bit of a shuffle. Yeah, okay, so that is going to be a Vex mid. Viego versus Nunu in the jungle. I'm intrigued as to how that's going to go. Both very gank heavy champions. The Mordekaiser Gnar, I don't know. If they both just farm, they're happy, right? So I don't imagine we see too many crazy engages there. This could all be down to the bot lane.
I think it is. I think that, and when I'm looking at it this way, right? I think Nunu probably is going to have a little bit more agency just with the speed, probably a little more agency, but I think Viego is such a good ganker. Um, when you come down to it, the bot lane's going to be tricky, and I think Vex ult down to
Oh,
bot lane, big impact. So
I think we got Thalasis having a bit of a stuttering moment, but we got the gist of your sentence. That was actually quite special. Like, you disconnected and then we picked up the word you said as you disconnected, so we still got 90% of the sentence, even in that small glitch. So I think
I like Royal Navy. I hope they win.
This is it. You just want to see a game 3.
I do. I want to see a game 3, and I think the Malzahar ban was mean. So, you know what? Let's see it.
Well, we've got Prodizio in chat saying that I agree, I hate Gnar. So
good. It's not just me.
It's not just you, but isn't Prodizio one of the players? Wait, is he? Hang on a minute. Now I'm paranoid.
That's Prey. Yeah, I think that's Prae as in like the player Prodizio.
Yeah, the one who's playing Gnar right now?
Look, I agree. I think Gnar is you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb right now. When the Lions lose, it'll be because they picked Gnar.
Whoa.
I'm gonna say it.
That's a lot to be putting on the cards right now, but I think we're ready to get into game. Bear with me while I make extra sure, because we all know League of Legends likes to be a little special snowflake on game capture, but here it is. We go into game 2. That's Royal Navy Esports versus the British Army Esports Lions. Game 2 of 3. And this is not going to start as peacefully as the last one. A full 5-man invade from the Navy, going straight for the Jinx to say, excuse you, we took offense last game. You are not winning this bot lane.
We said this game was going to be won through bot lane, and do you see who gets the kill? Misfortune. Right off the bat with the kill. This is going the way Royal Navy wanted it to go. This is starting off perfectly for them.
Alistar just chilling in his bush, being a human ward with a ward and an enemy ward. Does he have the opportunity to go pick one up? No, safe. You know, if you had a giant 5-man invade, you want to make sure that your jungle is not about to get counter-ganked. Viego saying, I'm going to go start blue anyway, thank you. Let's just be careful, hang out. Both junglers electing to start topside this time. Exactly what we said. The winners of bot lane are going to make a huge difference in this game, and especially with Misfortune already 1 kill up, you want to babysit your bot if you are the Royal Navy right now.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what these junglers do. Viego, I mean, you can tell obviously is gonna, should be clearing his camps and going immediately bot. If I'm Nunu, knowing the speed that I'm gonna need to get down there, I would probably, nope, I was gonna say I would skip it, but looks like they're gonna go and take him, and man, we're gonna have a race to bot lane, already teleporting back. I'm just calling it right now. Gnar already got pushed so badly, he had to go back, heal up, and teleport in. This is not going well for this top laner.
Yeah, that is not ideal. Like we said, this is probably going to be a farm-focused lane as both players just try and get up, but with a level advantage already on Mordekaiser, early game, he's going to want to take advantage of that. The Nunu says, all right, let's go. Mord manages to get his small hook. They're not going to bother tower diving it at level 2. That makes a lot of sense to me. Just push the lane, keep Gnar from getting any CS. Not a bad call. Meanwhile, Viego is in the bot side, and LeBlanc needs to be careful. She's got an incoming Nunu from top lane, and no ward in that bush, I don't believe. The snowball is almost, okay, not quite going to land, but Viego is saying, LeBlanc, you're on your own. I'm going to counter-invade the jungle and be able to help as soon as Nunu starts coming bot lane. This could get dangerous right here. The 3 of them hanging out in the bush, knowing that Nunu is on the way, and letting the Misfortune have free roam of the lane right now. Jinx with a great placement of the grenades to follow up the engage from her jungler. Some great situational awareness. The bot laners didn't come up to help.
That was that macro difference from last game we saw. Nunu showed top lane, so what did Viego do immediately? Went in and got he stole the blue buff. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
another engage in the jungle, and again, Jinx really good with these grenades, always making sure to use them to prevent an escape from her lane opponent so that she can pick up this kill. That one does go to the Alistar, but Vex is down. It's dangerous to be down against a LeBlanc, already 20 CS behind as well.
And Misfortune, look at that, caught out on the wrong side alone. Luckily,
Oh!
they got the execute. But
All right, apparently this is going to be a game of action. The Royal Navy team is not interested in playing it safe like they did last time. Nunu goes straight in for the top. They want to shut down the jungler. They want to shut down the top laner. They want to shut down the bot lane. They just want the Lions to have absolutely no foothold in this game. LeBlanc is about to get gone in on. Here comes the snowball from Nunu. She is not going to be able to escape. Vex managed to... Oh, the snowball doesn't connect, but there's still a lot of danger incoming. Viego following it up. LeBlanc hanging out real close. Leona taking the opportunity to cycle mid lane. Viego is going to pick up the kill on the Nunu. LeBlanc goes down. Alistair's a little bit far behind, does not manage to connect his bash. Leona just so very close to taking damage and does manage to escape, or not the oh my goodness, there's too many people all in the mid lane right now. Viego managed to escape. Leona is saying, okay, I've done my duty. I kept my friend alive, and now I'm going to leave. Thank you.
Yeah, this game has been already a banger. This is, I definitely have seen that bot focus right off the bat. You got Misfortune the kill, but what happens when Nunu goes top lane? Viego goes bot. When Nunu shows top lane again and gets a kill, Viego comes mid. And so I think that both these teams are pretty even right now. Man, I think Viego is slightly ahead of Nunu right now, and I think it's really hindering their team. But on the other hand, they are winning top lane. Mordekaiser is beating Gnar, and I think if this game goes late, we're going to see that a weak Gnar is not going to be as great.
Seen so much love in the chat as well. Just be a familiar face from previous AFDL events. Welcome back. Thank you so much for the sub. We appreciate everybody who's hanging out in chat today. All of your donations through either the donation link or bits or cheering or subs all helps us run more events. So we really, really appreciate you. And Guilty Crowd out here. Yes, hello, hello, Cherry. How are you? Good to see you hanging out in the chat. As Leona slowly meanders down to mid lane, and Viego's just chilling taking grubs.
See, that is one thing I love about League of Legends, right? You never know what's going to happen. It's explosive. They go bot, they go top, they're in the jungle. This is a real game. I love League of Legends way better than some fake games like Street Fighter. So, yeah, it's good to watch.
Oh my goodness. I enjoy a bit of Street Fighter. Cherry knows. Now everybody's cycling, focusing on this dragon, which is up now that grubs are off the table. Nunu in position. Viego having to back right now is 2-0. The snowball comes out. It's almost certainly going to connect. Alistar says, you don't get to touch my carry. I'm going to walk straight into that, even as I fall over in my own chair. And instead, it looks like they are going to be seen by the ward. Not going to be an engage on the dragon here. Still just a bit of posturing. Nunu says, excuse me, I would like to go get my red buff. And they just want to dance around for a little while longer.
Yeah, that was a good attempt from Nunu. I think Leona a little bit out of position. A little bit further back than she would have liked to be for that. And Alistar blocking the snowball really made that whole fight a non-factor. But I think Viego's looking for something here. Whether that's a gank or just getting pressure in the dragon. We're about to see. It looks like it is going to be a gank, but they do have that middle one warded.
Yeah, they do see the Viego coming in. He was pinged away, but letting him just hang out there for a little bit and wasting his time as Nunu slowly cycles back down to bot is a good call. You can see the bot laners from the Royal Navy not actually backing up, just holding their position at the ward line, saying, come on, come on, come on. We're just, look, we're totally farming right now. We totally don't know you're here. And it does pay off in the end. They are in a good position to follow up on this engage with Nunu here, trying to get some extra vision since they know they've been spotted, and here comes the snowball.
Yeah, it looks like, man, they really want to take this
But
fight, but
running
they're spotted
away.
out on a ward. Yeah, you're
I'm
spotted on the
surprised
ward.
even with
Misfortune
being
wants him
spotted,
back.
they wouldn't have gone in. I think personally,
kinda-
I would have tried to steal that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would have too. I think in their minds, a lost fight there opens up the game. And since they were just a little bit behind in the pace there, they weren't quite set up for it. I think they'd rather just let them have one dragon. Since it's only the first dragon, let them have it, reset, and play through their strengths, which right now I think is going to be, man, that's tough. Top lane, Misfortune's behind 15 farm, mid lane's behind almost 30 farm. We're going to need to see them step it up just a little bit.
Yeah, the Lions have done an excellent job in not letting Misfortune and Leona capitalize on the early Jinx kill. Viego has done a very, very good job taking care of his laners. Mordekaiser says, you can teleport if you want to. I just want to punch some stuff, please. Oh, a really good pickup by the Narth, not getting, and the boomerang comes out for a lot of health, but Mordekaiser is not going to be able to escape. He needed to get that first stun off in order to escape, and he just did not succeed. The wards, of course, need to be cleared out at all times. Nunu managing to pick up another crab for some extra vision in the bot lane. Snowball comes out. Is it going to connect? Comes through the bush where they have vision. Alistar eats it, protecting his carry. They're close enough to the tower that that's not going to be worth a dive, even with Vex cycling down to help.
Alistar's been doing a great job because every time Nunu comes, he's eating the snowball. He's playing in front of the Jinx. I think that this is, but here we go. We got some action in mid.
Oh, LeBlanc using her dodge in an interesting way. Like I said, it's always very aggressive. Oh, Nunu managing to get away with just the sliver of health that's left. The Super Mega Death Rocket comes out, but it's not going in the right direction to pick up the jungler and doesn't manage to connect with anyone else either. They have vision of the Viego hanging out there. Because Viego's sword is yellow, I keep thinking it's a Leona, but it's not. And he hangs out in the bush, but they know he's there. Vex says, okay, I'll just push. I'm going to go back.
Yeah,
I'm going
Vex
to buy some
actually
stuff.
really good to land the R there. Unfortunately, all of her other abilities were down, so when she took the ult in, she wasn't able to get any burst damage on the LeBlanc. Had to flash away, and now she is flashless and ultless in mid lane. But we got a teleport, multiple teleports coming in bot lane.
Yes, we do. Let's see what's happening. A giant ult from Misfortune manages to take out the LeBlanc, who was roaming bot lane. I don't quite know why. I assume it was following the Vex. An interesting choice. I'm not sure what the map knowledge was that made that the sensible play, as opposed to just pushing down mid when you know that your Viego is taking the Rift Herald.
Was that a teleport too? LeBlanc teleported down to bot lane just to die.
Yeah, I think they both mid laners teleported bot.
Ah, okay.
That's the action that I'm questioning. We missed the start of that engage, you know, the little thing that tipped everybody over into saying this is where we were committing. Just knowing that your Viego is there, gonna clear the Herald, and that Nunu is off doing his own thing. An interesting choice.
Yeah, man, I will say, while it is a 1,000 gold lead, it feels really close. This still feels like anybody's game.
Yep, LeBlanc does manage to go in on the Vex, gets a solid amount of damage. Alistar's coming up. Leona manages to prevent the early knock-up, but LeBlanc gets the kill anyway. Here comes the teleport from the Mordekaiser saying, okay, Alistar, let's fight. I'm already having a good time in my top lane. LeBlanc doesn't manage to connect her chains. The two of them are just going to back up, take the kill, and go.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay by the Vex there. Used the fear on the minions. Unfortunately, it meant no fear was up for when LeBlanc went in. And at this point, top lane's evened out. I mean, Mordekaiser's going to catch this wave, but in reality, they're both 1-1-0. They've got about the same amount of farm. This went from
barely 100
lot
difference in gold as well.
Yeah, this is actually going to be that top lane sort of in they had is quickly disappearing, and now it's going to be up to this Misfortune. Needs to pick up some farm, get some more kills, but I think they're really going to have to play around Misfortune if they're expecting to win this game.
Yep, iron level supports, take note. This Alistair and this Leona have been absolutely fantastic, covering for their carries, making plays when they can, and just providing vision. The Nunu snowball's coming around the corner. We know that Alistair is going to eat that, and Leona says, okay, we've got vision on the Viego. Let's go straight in on him instead. Is that going to be enough to take down the Nunu? Yes, it is. Alistair could go down as well. Misfortune gets the double kill. Jinx is not going to be able to pick that up on her own, but with the LeBlanc coming in, the two players just weren't quite in sync as far as re-engage, and the Royal Navy team manages to escape with a 2-for-1.
And that's the power of vision. They had a ward in the bush that Viego was sitting there on, so even after the Nunu ball gets eaten by Alistar, they're still able to make a move on the Viego, sitting alone in the bush. Great job by them to keep things warded.
Dragon is up, so we're going to see a lot of posturing here back in the bottom river while everybody tries to control vision of the area. You can see just how much, how many control wards have been placed by the Royal Navy team trying to hold some of this map awareness together, but they don't have the positioning that they want to start an engage. It's going to be risky. Vex trying to cycle around, I think, and try and find a more advantageous entry spot after clearing some waves at her turret. Let's see if we can just get a little bit of a wider view here on this. And there goes the Alistar connects. They're going to manage to follow that up with a couple of more bits of CC. Jinx finally managing to get in the back lane, but not quick enough to do a lot of damage. The grenades come out, but don't manage to pick anybody up. Alistair doing a great job standing in front of everybody. LeBlanc goes in, and the Nunu doesn't quite know who he wants to target with his snowball, so it manages to hit nobody. Leona says, all right, that's my cue. I'm going in. A huge amount of damage comes out from the Misfortune. That's a double kill. The Nunu was on a sliver of health and is likely going to escape. The Misfortune ult comes out, but not quite enough range. Jinx manages to just hop, skip, and jump away. Jinx is doing a fantastic job just keeping herself alive in the face of Misfortunes feeding on her opponents.
That was a actually really good team fight there. I was about to say that they were caught out. You could see Leona was a little bit ahead in lane. Props to the Nunu. That snowball came in, blocked the Alistar's knockup, allowing Misfortune to get out. And after that, they were able to clean up the fight. Nunu getting into the bush to use the ult kept him alive. Yeah, man, that is exactly what Royal Navy needs. They need to win team fights. And I think this goes to show you that minus the top laners, it's a pretty close fight in a 4v4.
Mordekaiser is probably going to get jumped on here if they're feeling bold, which it appears they're not. Gnar has already used his ultimate trying to chase this down. They don't have vision of the enemy jungle. Mord says, okay, I'll poke you over the wall. You're not coming. And the Gnar ult is now spent, so...
Exactly what I was going to say. This is the perfect time for Royal Navy to push out because, once again, Gnar does not have ult up. Mordekaiser's there with his ult up. Nunu's got the ball, and this is, here we go.
This is it. They know that Alistar's going to eat it anyway. We may as well use it on him and then try and dive the Jinx. They don't manage to succeed just yet. Nunu taking a lot of damage. Jinx is starting to ramp up with her Infinity Edge, but not going to be quite enough. No one is tanky enough to just face roll these guys yet and just walk straight into 5 enemy champions. Alistar will get there, but the time is not now.
Yeah, and at this point, with Misfortune up 6-1, you've got to be very respectful. If you can't get to the Misfortune, if the Misfortune can't get in range to fight, you need to back off the fights. And I think that's what both these teams are doing. Both of them are being very respectful of the other team, and I think both these teams want to win this one.
An interesting choice of Snowball, just a preemptive little is somebody waiting there to ambush us on the Herald moment, and a good call by the Royal Navy team. There is no one nearby and no vision from the Army team here, except for they saw the Snowball. That's a quick Rift Herald, quick Rift Herald. LeBlanc decides to use the bush and pop herself over the wall right into everybody's faces. I don't know if that was a good call. Mordekaiser, is he going to spend his ult and bring her into his own realm? Yes, he is. Meanwhile, there's still damage going out. Jinx is trying to chase down the Nunu and get this pickup since Mordekaiser was busy dealing with the LeBlanc up top. Misfortune's ult comes out, but there we go. A whole bunch more damage. Viego manages to shut down Misfortune. Need to get even closer on this fight. Leona and Mordekaiser do get away.
Man,
I think that was just
so
down to
disjointed.
positioning. Yeah.
Yeah, Nunu got caught out. When he saw that LeBlanc, he thought the whole team was there. He ulted immediately in the bush. The rest of his team walked away, and by the time they were able to get back, Mordekaiser had ulted in the top, and at that point, it was a 1v5, then a 1v5, and then a 3v5, and Royal Navy needed to play a little bit more as a team and a little bit less just disjointedly.
1 minute and 22 seconds up on Dragon. Baron, of course, up in 2, but I don't expect that to be the focus of either of these teams for the next little while. It is still incredibly close. 10-10. The British Army have managed to pick up a couple extra kills and take a little bit of a gold lead as well as a turret lead. Not a single Army tower has fallen. Here comes the Rift Herald trying to correct that. It's going to be a long charge straight down. Doesn't quite manage to take out the tower in one hit, but a respectable effort from the Herald nonetheless, as all 4 members of the Royal Navy team cycle mid to prevent a counter push.
Yeah, and at this point, I think both teams are setting up for Dragon. Only one top laner has teleport, though. Mordekaiser with the teleport. If they're able to start this fight soon, looks good on my end. This fight is looking really good, I think, for Royal Navy.
Here we go. Jinx is up, sitting a little bit far in lane right now. Does manage to back off with her Alistar best buddy, but Nunu's throwing that snowball in and says, never mind, we're leaving. Misfortune did not want to go in. We had the retreat pings. And we know about the vision from the British Army team. Mordekaiser and Gnar just hanging out in top as they do. Gnar managing to actually make some progress on that top side. Here comes the big fight at Dragon. Is it going to be a steal? Misfortune's ultimate comes out and does manage to do enough damage that smite doesn't matter. Mordekaiser has gone around and says, I'm sorry, Jinx, but I'm going to eat you for breakfast. And everybody else who's trying to escape through our jungle, Nunu's coming after you with a snowball. Alistar is about to get shredded. LeBlanc is in danger. Gnar, with the ultimate spent, is now trying to come mid, but he's tiny again. There's not enough to follow up here. He's not cycling to his team with the same degree of success as Mordekaiser. Goes, I suppose, for a bit of a sacrifice play here, trying to juke and dodge, but it's not going to be successful. I don't expect LeBlanc to get this kill, but she does manage to pick up the Misfortune. That's almost certainly going to be a death on the other side. No, she gets away with it.
Yeah, LeBlanc is slippery. That was, I gotta say, really great job by Royal Navy, though. I gave them grief for that last fight, but on this time, Mordekaiser rotated down early. He had the teleport, and it made the difference. Gnar, without the teleport, had to walk down. He wasn't ready with his ult, and so when the fight came and it was time, Royal Navy is able to win a 5v4, really. And, man, this game is right back to that even state-ish. They're still down 2k gold, but it's a lot better than where they were before that fight.
Yeah, right now I think turrets are the biggest issue. That bot lane turret is a little bit low. I don't think that the Royal Navy is getting enough farm out of the imbalanced turret in bot lane. It's probably worth just going down and taking it, especially given the fact that they're already down a turret on top side. Both middle first towers are gone. This will probably be and engage somewhere in mid here with the Viego, Alistar, and Jinx cycling around, but Mordekaiser's just being extra careful. He's here to defend the turret. He's not here to fight.
And here we go. Looks like they're about to try to gank
Nunu
LeBlanc
and
top lane.
LeBlanc up top, if we can see what's going on, does manage to get the snowball, does a huge amount of burst damage, and LeBlanc just gets shredded. She is not going to be able to win that 3v1. This is going to be a tower on top side for the Royal Navy.
Yeah, unfortunately they don't have the wave there yet, so they're having to stall it out, clear what they can, and wait for the wave to come in. And it looks like that the British Army's rotating up.
Rotating up, just clearing out vision. Again, going for a Baron right now would certainly be a choice. They know that their Gnar is hanging out in bot lane, and he's a huge tank component of the Army team. This Vex is, of course, bot lane with them, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to deter a quick dive. Super Mega Death Rocket comes out, but everybody's standing in front of Baron. No contest there from the British Army.
Yeah, that was a great job. As soon as they got that LeBlanc pick, able to take that top turret with Gnar showing bot, even with teleport, Vex was there to match with teleport. And I think macro game, Royal Navy has really stepped up compared to last game, and they're giving British Army here a run. They are now, for the first time in this game, since the misfortune kill at the beginning, they're ahead in gold. They're ahead in gold with an active Baron buff and a tower still standing bot side. I'm liking the Royal Navy's position right now.
Yeah, this is what we said we needed to see from the Navy if they wanted a chance to come back. Now, there's not quite enough vision in their own blue or red side jungle for the blue team to know exactly where everybody is, but there was enough vision on the red side. Oh my gosh, on the red team's blue side in order to know that everybody was coming. So Gnar is playing it safe, just trying to defend this turret. I don't think he's going to succeed. Vex is there taking care of mid. LeBlanc choosing to teleport to the bot lane. The Gnar ultimate comes out to push everybody away, but there's nobody there to follow up. Jinx finally arrives. The Viego comes in too. It's going to be an engage, but LeBlanc is still running down. I expect this to be a quick pickup from LeBlanc. If she goes in, and there she goes, waiting for the support to get in here. The Alistar arrives, Misfortune goes down, and that's exactly what LeBlanc needs to do in these team fights. The Super Mega Death Rocket does a lot of damage to the group. There's a quick pickup here, but with the Leona managing to grab LeBlanc in the bush, knowing that's probably the only place she could be, the British Army team doesn't have enough counter damage. Gnar spending their teleport to head top and try and take this turret and counter. Probably going to get it, but will he lose his life in the process to the Mordekaiser? I don't know.
Yeah, that was the smart choice. Getting up there and at least getting something back after you went 2 for 1 in the bot side. You lost a turret. That being said, though, Royal Navy picks up a dragon, and now they're going to be on Soul Point. So, man, as this game gets closer and closer to that Soul, Royal Navy's pulling a little bit further ahead. What was down 6,000 gold, 6 minutes ago, now they're up almost 1,000. They've got a little bit of map control. Vision is a little bit lacking, but I think that they're in a good spot, and I think we're seeing that Mordekaiser has been a better pick in these team fights than the Gnar has.
Yeah, Gnar has a lot of potential to work with the teammates that he has, but they just aren't all in sync the way they were in the last game. That's one single-minded or hive mind almost movement across the map that the British Army team displayed in game 1 is not present this time. Something about red side and just everybody warding the heck out of everything is making a huge difference in this best of 3.
Yeah, and Royal Navy has been really smart about it. They sent 4 down bot. By the time anyone from British Army could actually get down there and help that Gnar out, Gnar had already used his ult. The fight had already been started, and at that point, you just have to back off it. Otherwise, it's going to end like it did, with 2 deaths for 1 and the loss of a turret.
Nunu spends the snowball, but doesn't get anything from it. Just a precautionary escape snowball, I think. They have enough vision to know that Gnar is now cycled mid lane and he's going to be counter pushing the wave while everybody else just pokes out top. That top turret is, of course, the real target for the Royal Navy team. Viego doing what he can to just hang out and do some damage, but Misfortune chunks those towers and he gets gone in on by the entire Royal Navy team. Mordekaiser picks it up in the mid lane counterplay. You've got Jinx doing what she can off on the other side, if we can see what's going on, to try and pick up that first base turret. They do manage to get the second tier mid. A quick back, but Mordekaiser's gonna see them. Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness, the Mordekaiser gets away, but who's still over there? I can't tell.
Gnar. That is the Gnar.
It's the Gnar, there we go. The Gnar and the Mordekaiser are dueling it out. Gnar doesn't have quite enough damage. I don't think it's worth following this up. You know he has to clear the wave and your team is all cycling top. You've already lost the turret. Just take the blue buff you can see is up and leave.
And that's exactly what they needed to do. They pushed as a team. They were able to get a pick under turret, dive that Viego, and don't get me wrong, British Army did great. Jinx and Gnar pushing that mid, trying to get something, but Mordekaiser's teleport, he's able to hold the line, save the turret, and because he's able to stop Gnar, the rest of his team is able to get all the way down and take the inhibitor. This game, I think both teams now are going to play a little bit safer as Baron starts to come up, and I would expect a big fight around either Baron or Dragon here.
Yeah, this is definitely a moment where everybody needs to be getting vision. Nunu says, oh, I see you there. I can probably smite steal this if LeBlanc doesn't chunk it first. Okay, that does manage to go to the army team.
And with both Vex and Gnar in a second, about to have teleport up, they can both continue to push this bot side up, and we'll just have to make sure, we'll have to see which team spins that teleport first to kick off this fight.
Snowball comes in from the Nunu, trying to pick up the Jinx really quickly. Doesn't manage to do it. Teleport comes in from the Gnar. We can see it going in for the engage, but his team is so far away. Jinx not able to follow it up, and Gnar's ultimate is already spent. That's going to be a dead Gnar, probably. Here comes the Misfortune ult. That's what we expect to see. Alistar doing what he can to get in the middle of everything. Viego just trying to poke it down, but not really able to get a good engage. And there comes the burst damage we want to see out of the LeBlanc and the rest of the Royal Navy team. Jinx manages to pick up the Misfortune. The Mordekaiser is, of course, still alive, but that's going to be a quick one and an ace for the British Army. Oh my goodness, what a way to turn a team fight. I don't think they can bear in just the three of them, so Jinx is saying, let me at least go take the turret and the inhibitor. You guys go heal up. I'll meet you at Baron. We got 20 seconds before anyone is alive.
That was fantastic. I mean, you thought Royal Navy had that fight. Gnar completely through the beginning, teleporting in, using his ultimate, getting picked off, but then, out of nowhere, LeBlanc comes in and does massive burst damage. Able to really take that team fight, turn it, and now British Army is going to be able to set up and get this dragon, stopping Royal Navy from getting soul for at least 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. The rest of your team has to take care of the base with that inhibitor down. You can see Gnar dealing with it on the minimap. The risk with doing this dragon is that it leaves an opportunity for the Royal Navy to do exactly what they're doing, which is cycle over to Baron, and it puts you at a disadvantage. When you don't have vision, suddenly you're the weak team going in to try and stop a proactive play from your opponent over on the Baron side, and that can be really, really risky. Luckily, LeBlanc and Alistair managed to get in there and get the peek out that they need in order to know that, okay, never mind, we're good, we're safe, and force the Royal Navy back for a moment. But it's still a risky place to be. You can see Mordekaiser just kind of patrolling the area. LeBlanc goes in, tries to get a quick dive. The Super Mega Death Rocket does not connect, but Jinx picks up the kill anyway. It hits the Nunu instead. Doesn't do quite enough damage with the big shield that he's got, but that's one carry down in exchange for the LeBlanc. 1 for 1. Not bad at this point in the game, but not ideal either when you're positioning for Baron.
Yeah, I think this is British Army's time to push. They push out that top wave and the mid wave, and I think if they can time the Gnar ultimate right, I think this is their time to set up around Baron because, man, Misfortune is a lot of the damage for Royal Navy right now. And with her gone, this is probably their best opportunity to fight.
It looks like they're gonna go for it. They think they have the damage to outspeed this. 6 seconds left on Misfortune's lifetime, and Nunu just hanging out in the bush, trying to see maybe I can get a flash smite steal. Can we see the junglers? Thank you. Okay, Viego does manage to pick it up. A teleport comes in from, that looks like the Mordekaiser. Yes, gets a solid engage on everybody, but nobody from his team is following him in. They're trying just to cycle around and use him as bait. The Nunu uses the snowball around the Baron wall. Here comes the Misfortune ultimate. It's going to shred through a lot of people's health, but everybody manages to sidestep. Mordekaiser finally goes down, and the big counter damage from the Royal Navy is here. Nunu goes down. Jinx doing what she can to just stay in the back and take care of people. LeBlanc the same. Viego is low, but the 3 carries managed to just sidestep most of the skill shots and prevent themselves from getting caught. Leona is not going to be able to survive this, especially with Gnar coming in as well to just get himself a little bit of extra health. And here's the second ace from the Army team. That's probably going to be a GG. 20 seconds left on the clock to take the 2 Nexus turrets and the Nexus itself. And after what an incredible start to Game 2, Royal Navy is knocked out. That's 2-0 for the British Army esports team.
I mean, congratulations. That was an amazing game from them. Even when they were behind, even when everything changed and they lost that Baron, they knew they weren't out of it yet. They came back. They started winning team fights. LeBlanc, Viego showing up in these fights. And, man, you feel bad for the Navy because you could tell they really wanted it. And they were doing everything right, but man, British Army just able to pull it out.
You know, once you get into that 30-minute mark of the game, a single team fight is really all it takes. That Baron engage was really, really well executed honestly, by both teams at the start. And the Royal Navy just slightly fell off when they weren't able to dive past the tanks and just get those carries dead from the British Army team. Still a tremendous effort from both groups. That's, I think, all of the European teams now that we have seen participate in the Warriors of the Rift series. And I'm really excited to see the next round of matchups and how everybody fares, because there is a really, really skilled group of players participating in the European bracket.
Yeah, it has been a blast to watch. All these teams have been great. Watching today, I'm glad it was close. Even if it didn't go a full 3 series, both games were pretty close, and they were both fun to watch. But I'm looking forward because I think we have more games later today too, right?
We do. There is a game happening in North America as well later on tonight at, I believe, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I've gone through so many time zones. I hope that's not wrong. But 8 p.m. Eastern, it will be Warrior Gamer versus the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force. And AFG put up an incredibly dominant performance last week. So if you are interested in some high-tempo, just good League of Legends, this is going to be a game you do not want to miss. Make sure you check back in. If you haven't already, follow the Twitch channel so you get notified when we go live. We've also got a Twitter account. We post the matches every Tuesday, EU and NA, and we'll be back later this month as well with more World of Warcraft. So we are here all summer long to keep you guys company on Summoner's Rift and in Azeroth. And Leave in Limbo, thank you so much for the sub with the Prime. We love you all. Thalassic, have you got any final thoughts on this series before we close it out?
No, it was great. Great job to both teams. I know that, Navy's got to be sort of kicking themselves a little bit, losing 2-0, but it was close, and they were great matches. I think there's a couple things both teams can work on, but I'm excited to see what they are going to continue to do.
Yeah, so this has been fantastic. As always, I am Marielia. I have been joined by Thalassic here on the desk, and we will see you guys next week. Tonight, you will be joined by Megan Akrosma and Bread. So if you want to have a good time, make sure you tune in again. That's 8 p.m. Eastern later this evening. And until then, everyone, have a good one.
I love love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop, just give me up. Don't I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad. Cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared, just give me up.